This should be needless to say, but all views, opinions, expressions, and curse words represent solely those of the douchebag stating them and does not represent Mike and Adam's employers, family, churches, congressmen or women, dogs, cats, guinea pigs, wives, or child. None of this should be taken seriously, and if you do, we appreciate your concern, but not really, and really cannot and will not change anything about our process. Sorry, Mom. Welcome to The Skinny with Mike and Adam. Two well-informed adolescent men in search of an audience.
I think you're making out with me a little too much because I'm still trying to get over the coughs.
I'm sorry. Welcome back.
Yay.
We made it again.
Consistency.
Yay. We did 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
We worked like manly man.
We are
today.
Pretty manly.
I agree.
I've got the sweat-stained shirt to prove it.
Some of us took a shower afterwards.
Well, I don't because I am a man.
Okay.
You are a woman because you like to be clean.
It's not my fault that my body wash smells of pomegranate. It's what my lady likes me in.
Well, to be fair, I like you in pomegranate too.
Okay, good. Thank
Which
you.
is why you got sick because I love kissing you so much.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So, welcome back to episode 018 of the Skinny Podcast.
It's flying by.
Yeah, how you doing, Adam?
I'm doing good. Remember Super Bowl 18?
I know.
Okay.
Who won Super Bowl 18?
I have to think about that one for a second. We're going back to the Los Angeles Raiders versus the Washington Redskins.
Yes.
Los Angeles Raiders winning 38-9.
Wow, that was like the last time they ever won a game. Nice.
The last time they ever won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
1984.
Okay.
So, yeah, Marcus Allen. He had a big game.
That's sweet.
Jim Plunkett.
Did you enjoy your Halloween?
I did. I did. More on that later.
Oh, yeah, that's
as
right.
Well,
we'll talk about that on the plate segment today. We've got a plethora of news topics to cover. So let's go into the feed.
it was quite an array of Disney princesses and Marvel comic book heroes walking down my street this week.
Yeah.
And a bunch of older kids dressed as high school students.
Oh, that's a very unique costume.
Opening up their backpack and you're throwing candy in and their like algebra book is right there.
Did they even say trick or treat?
They said, "Oh my, I meant to put my mask on, but I didn't have enough time."
Oh, okay.
Before I walked up here,
it does take a long time because you gotta pull the string back, and then you gotta find your head, make sure it's.
That's really hard to do when you're 16.
It is.
Your head moves around a lot. It's puberty.
And those costumes. I mean, they put a lot of work into it because they had to dress up like that in the morning.
In the morning,
they had to go to school like that.
In the morning for them is like 2 in the afternoon.
Imagine the ridicule that they had to go through, dressed as their Halloween costume in class.
I know. And when you're covering up zits and squeaky voice and hair where there wasn't hair before.
Holy moly, there's hair down there.
There's hair down there in my nether regions.
Yeah, we had a couple. I didn't give out candy this year, but we were trick-or-treating, and I came across a bunch of kids who thought it was cool to not dress as anything.
We're not kids anymore.
Yeah, give me some fucking candy.
Some candy. I'm not a kid.
Fucking Jolly Ranchers, motherfucker.
I don't have a job yet, so I can't buy candy on my own, so I gotta beg for it.
Yeah. Fuck you.
As the rest of the world calls it. Begging.
Yeah, fuck you, give me my fucking candy.
But the best part was the little kids.
Yeah.
They're adorable.
It's always fun to see them and their eyes light up and they're so proud of their costume.
And they're cuter this year.
Yeah.
I think it's because like my dad vision is coming out.
Okay.
There was something weird about last year I was just like, oh yeah, cute kids, whatever. But now it's like these kids are like, they were just extra cute.
Does it have anything to do with the fact that you might be having a child?
That's what I'm
soon?
saying. Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad vision.
Oh, your dad. I thought you said your dad's.
Not my dad.
Like, oh, your dad is a psychic, and he knows what children's costumes are going to be like in the year 2012.
All the way from Ohio.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to go to the first news story of the day. And we mentioned, what was it, 3 weeks ago?
Something like that.
About the band Green Day.
After he had that meltdown on stage.
That's right. We briefly talked about that and how uneventful that was.
It was pretty uneventful. Nobody really cared.
Yeah.
Including
But
the fans at the show.
Yeah, so like we said, Billy Joe is going into rehab after the fallout of that. But
Yes.
I'm sure that ties into this next story, which means that they're canceling the remaining 2012 tour dates, and they're postponing their shows in January and February. But to make up for it, the release of Trey, which is the third album that they're releasing in this set,
Yes.
it's going to has been moved up to December 11th.
And if those of you remember my review of Uno,
Yes.
was not very favorable.
Mm-mm.
And I've been dissing that album pretty much all day today.
Yeah.
So
I had the mispleasure of actually listening to one of the songs on Adam's shuffle on his iPod.
And I'm glad you didn't only listen to it once.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to it twice, you're going to be humming it.
Or so I've heard.
It's that like pop punky. Yeah, it makes your skin crawl.
Everything that's wrong with pop punk.
So I'm holding out for Dose, which Mike said he's going to buy for me
Yes.
as soon as it comes out.
If I have the money.
Right. Walmart, might be on sale. so check into that. He's
All right.
going to pick me up the new Soundgarden at some point too.
Yes.
So.
What for Christmas, because I
Yes,
like
it's
to
right
buy
around the
stuff
corner.
for you for Christmas.
Or my birthday, whatever.
Yeah.
It's already passed, but
And I've given you records for your birthday too.
yes.
All right, so the band's management released a statement regarding this. So, press release. Green Day announced today that they will cancel their club tour that was due to launch in Seattle at the Paramount Theater on September 26th and wind down to Tempe, Arizona at the Marquee Theater on December 10th. Tickets for these club shows will be refunded at point of purchase. Additionally, Green Day will postpone all scheduled appearances in the month of January and February 2013. New dates for these rescheduled shows will be announced shortly, and previously purchased tickets will be honored on the new dates.
I think that they should give me a refund even though I wasn't going to the show, nor did I buy a ticket.
Yeah, they should refund anybody who had the mispleasure of listening to Uno.
I think so, because I didn't read a lot of good reviews on it.
Yes, and I think their popularity has since passed. So they don't really have the hardcore people that will defend every bad decision this band makes.
Well, they have a lot of those people. That's very true.
We call those the 90s people.
We call them people in their late 30s now.
I'm
not there yet.
They have nothing left for them. I grew up with punk in the 90s.
Yeah.
Green Day's great, you guys.
So, but a lot of people are holding out for their later albums. But I'm surprised because remember I said that Billy Joe would go into rehab and just going like, yep, gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm clean, woo, and then he'd be gone. And it'd be like 3 days. And
proved you wrong, I guess.
And he proved me wrong because he's going to stay in rehab until like January or February, which is a long-ass time.
Which is plenty of time.
I think so. I mean, most treatment programs are 28 days. Some people need
90 days?
A lot more.
Yeah.
And maybe in his case it was.
Maybe, who knows? Well, the statement goes on to say, obviously the timing for this isn't ideal, but Billy Joel's well-being is our main concern, said Mike Dirnt. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
Dirnt?
this is the bass player.
Mike Dirnt. We are happy to say that Billy Joel is doing well, and we thank you all for the outpouring support and well wishes that we have received.
I feel bad for Mike Dirnt because he's just always been a weird-looking guy. Like you see pictures of him from his high school days, and you're like, that is a weird-looking guy. I hope he looks better when he gets older. Didn't happen.
He looks like he's permanently part of the AV club.
I think so. And yeah, it's just not working for him now that he's older.
Yeah, so like I said, Green Day also announced that they will move up the release date for Green Day Trey to December 11th, 2012,
Ooh,
from the original date of January 15th, 2013. We feel bad that we had to delay our tour, so to make up for it, we want to give our fans the music earlier than we planned, said Trey Cool.
That's the drummer.
Yes. If we couldn't be there to play it for you live, the least we could do was give you the next best thing. End quote.
Thank you, Trey.
Yeah, so sorry for anybody who was interested.
It's really surprising because Billy Joe has always been the spokesperson for the band, and the other guys never get to say much.
This is the first thing they've ever said.
I think so. I mean, usually he's just like, psh, psh, everybody be quiet. Billy Joe is talking.
Let me take some heroin first.
Exactly. A little bit of speed, and yeah.
So we hope you guys didn't already buy your tickets to the next Green Day show coming up soon.
No, I saw them once and that was enough.
Yeah.
It was on their big stadium tour with American Idiot.
Yeah.
And then they would play their old stuff and I was like, their old stuff still sucks. But the American Idiot stuff I liked.
But they're popular, Adam, so this is
They
news.
were very popular.
Yeah.
Especially in 2005 was when I went.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was like spanning the ages. They had just become like cool to 12-year-olds again.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of little kids
That's
there.
That's because they wear black shirts with red ties now.
Not anymore.
Edgy.
That was in 2004.
Yeah.
That was in 2004 and 2005. Now they wear multicolored clothing.
With suspenders.
Possibly.
All right, so this next story is something I think is close to Adam's heart. Because it looks like we got more pre-canceling news from NBC.
It's probably better that they cancel it now.
Yeah, so the network has decided not to move forward with the Office spinoff, as you guys may have heard of. It's Dwight-centric, and it revolves around him, and it's called The Farm.
And I had heard about this, too. Because they said they were going to do The Farm.
Yes.
And Mindy Kaling was getting her own show on Fox.
That's right, yeah.
I haven't been enjoying that one very much.
I don't like her very much.
I liked her on The Office, but I really don't like her not on The Office. But, my wife...
She's the same character no matter where she is.
Yeah, but in a really annoying way.
Yeah, that's why I hate her so much.
My wife likes her, so I watch and I laugh from time to time.
You have to watch, I think.
As for The Farm, I mean, it sounded like a good idea, but I'm pretty sure it would have fizzled out.
I didn't think Dwight could carry his own show.
No. And
he's a great supporting character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think the characters have been on long enough.
For 9 years.
That's a long-ass time.
Yeah, so thankfully that they're writing the show off now this season. But so according to this article in IGN, it looks like The Farm, the Dwight-centric spinoff of The Office about the Schrute family running a farm/bed and breakfast, is now a no-go at NBC. The upcoming episode of The Office, now in its ninth and final season, was supposed to act as the backdoor pilot for The Farm, which was possibly intended for mid-season and introduce all new characters. But now it seems that the series finale of The Office will end for all the characters.
And if they're not going to explore Moses' character, there's no purpose for it. We all don't need to explore Dwight's character any further.
Yeah, we already know.
Mose was the best part of that show.
He was.
Because just when it started to get a little lame in season 4, they introduced Mose out of nowhere. And it just made me love the show more.
He's the greatest thing ever.
So
the Farm episode of The Office will still air, however. Rainn Wilson, who plays Dwight, tweeted not too long ago, NBC has passed moving forward to The Farm TV show. Had a blast making the pilot. Onwards and upwards, end quote.
I heard that they're going to show the pilot at some point.
Well, if they canceled the show, I don't know if they're going to show the pilot. They might release it.
I had read something that they would show the pilot, but that was it.
Well, they have
it'll be buried at 10:30 at night on a Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah, they have an episode this season called The Farm, which was like the article states it was supposed to meant to be sort of like the introduction to the show.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Oh well. So you're not shedding any tears over this?
Not shedding any tears. I'm ready to move on from The Office. I mean, it's been pretty funny so far this year.
Yeah.
I've been happy to.
I enjoyed the first. I've enjoyed the 3 episodes I've seen in this season so far.
3 or 4, I think it's been.
But that's saying
30 Rock has.
That's not saying much either.
30 Rock is going to be ending this year too, and they've been super extra funny this season so far. A lot of political stuff.
Yeah.
Which has been awesome. So it's good that they're going out on a high note, even though still nobody's watching.
NBC is going to cancel everything.
I know. Parks and Rec will be the last one, as far as I can tell. Community, I think, is supposed to come back in February, finally.
And they'll probably cancel that next, too.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, so this next story is something that is actually pretty awesome. I don't know what to make of this story, so let me walk you guys through that. So a 20-year-old Brazilian woman by the name of Catarina Migliorini?
I think it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful last name. Has sold her virginity online to to the website virginswanted.com.au, and she sold it for $780,000.
Yes.
Really quick, her male version counterpart, Alex Stepanoff, has sold his virginity online on the same website for $3,000.
That's $2,700 more than I thought it would go for.
Exactly, I guess. So according to this article in the Huffington Post, the 20-year-old Brazilian woman has been auctioning off her virginity online for the past few weeks, and a man from Japan, known as his online tagline Natsu, which is a character from an anime, I believe. Makes sense, right?
And he's like, what, 67?
They don't have any information.
Okay.
It's all anonymous at this point.
I'm gonna go 67.
Yeah.
It's an incredible picture of this girl on the article.
So Natsu came out on top with the winning bid. Natsu beat out 5 other bidders in a feverish final day where the price of Migliorini's Virtue jumped from $190,000 on October 23rd to the final $780,000 price tag.
Holy crap.
Although Migliorini, a physical education student, has claimed to the media that she planned to donate as much as 90% of the auction price to charities that will build homes in the Brazilian state of Santa Catarina.
I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it is.
Because she needs that money to, survive on.
Even auctioneer organizer Justin Sisley, who devised the plan for the proposed documentary, was skeptical. So she's actually filming a documentary for this whole process. They're not going to film the good parts, unfortunately. Unfortunately, right? But apparently this is some sort of a media whoring ploy on her.
Pretty
I don't know.
Because she needs to save that money because she's not going to be making any other money the rest of her life.
Yeah, she doesn't seem very talented.
I mean, charity's cool and all, but looks will only take you so far.
If she can give it to charity.
Unless she marries Natsu. Obviously, the dude's got a lot of money.
Probably, yeah. So now that the price of virginity has been established, Natsu will be tested for sexually transmitted diseases before getting his big shot with Migliorini aboard a plane flying between Australia and the U.S. And this is for legal reasons, because prostitution is not legal in Australia, so they got to do it in like Vegas or something in the U.S. Yeah. Migliorini will also undergo an examination to prove she is as pure as the driven snow. So the article goes on to state that the encounter itself is not going to be allowed to have sex toys. Natsu must wear a condom. And also Migliorini states that she does not consider this a form of prostitution. She goes on to say that,
because it's for charity.
No, she says, well, if you only do it once in your life, it's not prostitution.
Right. Oh, okay.
Just like
I'm not a prostitute. It was just that one time.
Yeah, because she compares it to just because you take one good, picture your whole life doesn't make you a photographer, and killing one person doesn't make you a murderer.
Exactly. That's what they would tell me when I worked with murderers. Yeah. He was gonna die anyway. Yeah. I just sped it up.
Exactly. So, Adam, any thoughts on this story?
One more reason why men have won the battle of the sexes, as Ryan Gosling put it in Crazy Stupid Love. He said in there, as soon as pole dancing became aerobic exercise for women, that was when men won the battle of the sexes. And I'm gonna throw this into it as well.
Oh boy. Well, I'm not opposed to prostitution.
If she was keeping all the money, it'd be a different story.
I'm pretty sure she's going to keep all the money. She's not
90%.
She's not going to give that to charity.
I hope not. She needs to save that and go to college.
She's just saying that as goodwill because she knows it's public now. If this wasn't publicized, she would have never done that, or she would have never said she would have done that.
I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not in any way against prostitution at all. Consenting prostitution. Yes. But you got to add that. You got to add that word in there just to be clear.
You can't rape somebody then pay them.
Yeah. Here you go, bitch. Here's your $20. So yeah, but I guess this is cool. Good luck to Natsu. I guess. I mean, but $780,000.
It's a terrible thing. Having sex with a woman who's a virgin is not like a great experience. They're in pain the whole time, unless you get off on that.
Yeah, she's not gonna. She's not gonna have She's gonna have a gynecologist check her out to quote unquote prove that she's a virgin,
as pure as the white snow,
the driven snow. But there's actually a woman can break her hymen other ways, by riding a horse, by masturbating.
By jogging.
By jogging.
By riding
yeah.
a bicycle.
Exactly.
While sitting on a motorcycle for too long.
Interestingly enough, I was doing a little bit of research on the site virginswanted.com.au, and they have guidelines for both men and women on how they supposedly prove their virginity.
Mm-hmm.
The women's way was like, oh, you're just going to have a licensed gynecologist come look at you and determine from there. But for the men, what they do, they need 2 affidavits from family members stating that he is in fact a virgin. I thought that was interesting.
2 affidavits from family members. Okay, which family members would you want to ask?
I don't know.
If you had that choice, if you were still a virgin. Not saying that you're not a virgin.
Right,
still.
yeah.
You've only had 1 daughter, so I don't know how legitimate that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't there when you conceived. Where's the affidavit?
We did use a turkey baster.
Excellent.
Who would I ask?
Your wife. She would probably be the first who would know.
Oh, dude, he's definitely a virgin. I would not touch him ever.
And never have in 7 years.
Exactly. Maybe my... who'd I ask? Because none of them would know.
Your 14-year-old brother?
How would he know, though?
Exactly.
How would that hold up? I don't know.
I know. Nobody would really know.
I know. So it's a tricky thing, I guess, which is probably why the male part of this article, he only got $3,000 for his bid.
True.
Poor guy. But they $3,000 for one sex session.
Does he have to give 90% to charity as well?
I hope.
$30 for me.
Yay. I think it was a Japanese woman that paid for his one also. Man, the Japanese really love to pay for sex.
I guess so. It's easier than asking for it, I guess.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, congratulations to this Brazilian lady. And I hope she has a long,
more
hymen-free
young
life.
women go to the Australian website and sell themselves online. Yes. We need more legalized prostitution.
She's just somebody's daughter. I mean...
So was every prostitute.
Exactly.
So is every woman who's ever had sex.
Yes, but not for money.
Well, hey, just like South Park said, every time you're getting it, you're paying for it somehow.
Yes.
That dinner and movie you took out, that wasn't for free.
That was true. I had to buy a house to get to... I had to buy my wife a house. Then I finally had a baby.
You finally lost your virginity. Exactly.
Finally. It took so long. She's like, you buy me a house and a car, and then we'll talk.
Yes. And the moral of the story is that women are objects.
Right. And have low self-esteem.
Yes, exactly. And so and some men who sell their virginity for $3,000 are objects too.
That's a real man.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right, so check out the article below. We're going to move on. So actor Edward Furlong, you also know him as a young Kristen Stewart.
Exactly. We will never let that go.
Has been arrested at the L.A. airport on suspicion of domestic violence.
When did this happen?
This happened on Tuesday.
Monday. Oh, wait.
Well, it was yeah, you're right. It happened on Monday. It was reported on Tuesday.
Now they're saying he was in American History X and Terminator 2.
Because he was.
Not the Twilight movies.
Oh, well, maybe they didn't look at his IMDb.
Yes.
They pulled us on Wikipedia.
So the last time we checked in with Edward Furlong, he was retrieving his wallet that he lost in the Skid Row area of L.A. for some reason unknown to us.
Because he needed his money to buy the plane ticket to go wherever he was going.
Right. And he still owes lots of child support.
Of course.
But I don't know who he beat up. But a spouse or
estranged
girlfriend.
wife. Yeah.
Ah, okay. They did not identify who the person he allegedly injured was. His divorce from his estranged wife, Nicole Kuland, is pending. Jail records show the 35-year-old is being held on $50,000 bail.
Nice.
That's more than he owes in child support, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So I think he's going to be locked up for a little while.
Yeah, no one's going to bail. We should start a Kickstarter.
Where's
fund.
Arnold when you need him? And where's Edward Norton?
Edward is, Arnold is out having illegitimate children.
Damn it.
And repairing his image.
Mildred.
He doesn't have any time for poor John Connor.
He needs to fix John Connor's problem.
You got to get your shit together, John Connor. You're the savior of mankind. We can't have you. It was.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't have you going out here getting arrested and beating up women.
Well, he probably offered her $1 million for sex, and she said no.
Oh, yeah,
so he
that's
had
true.
to
$780,000 for sex.
$781.
My final offer, take it or leave it.
That's a lot of money for sex.
That is.
For an unpleasurable, brief experience.
Some people get off on the whole virgin thing. That's why we have porn nowadays. It's like, it's my first time. It's my first time.
I skip over those ones really quick because I'm just like, no, I don't want to listen to flesh ripping.
Yes, this is your first time with your gaping asshole. Yeah,
I want a girl that knows that she likes sex.
Yes, of course.
That's who I want to watch have sex.
Exactly.
Not someone who's not sure if she likes sex.
Who would you? How much? Who would you pay? Who do you think is worth having sex for $780,000?
Kristen Stewart.
And you just said you did not want emotionless, terrible sex.
I know
that would be emotionless, terrible sex.
Well, at least I can imagine that it's not with her.
You can put a bag over her face and paint a happy face on it, or
exactly. Just a happy face with like a big, a big
open
face mouth.
Ah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. I've never even seen that much money.
Natsu should have paid for this guy because he could have been able to bail him out. It's only $50,000.
He could have bailed out Furlong and then gangbang.
And still had plenty of money left to have sex with Natsu. Or to have sex with Katarina.
Exactly. And to go eat chicken McNuggets afterwards.
Yeah.
Because that's what 20-year-olds like to eat after sex.
Oh, well. So I don't think we're going to be hearing from Mr. Furlong anytime soon.
No. I think it's going to just be a long string of DUIs and drug arrests until he dies. But how many years did I give him on that podcast?
Ooh, like 3?
I think I gave him 3.
Yeah.
You gave him less. You said like 1.
I said we'd be dead by the end of the year.
Oh, wow. There's still time.
Yeah, he's in jail. He could get beat up in jail.
He could.
Yeah. All right, so another big news story that I'm sure you've all have heard is that Disney has purchased the distribution rights to Lucasfilm and announced the release of Star Wars Episode 7 in 2015.
Now, is it 7, 8, and 9, or is it just going to be Episode 7 for now?
Nope, they're going to do the new trilogy. So starting 2015, we're going to have Episode 7.
I think it's going to be really not good.
Here's what I think. Okay, well, first of all, let's talk about Disney purchasing Lucasfilm.
Okay.
Disney purchased Marvel several years ago, and when that happened, a bunch of people were all skeptical. Oh, they're going to put Mickey Mouse in the Avengers? Fuck you. You don't know shit about what distribution right means. But so, I mean, Marvel's been just fine since then. If anything,
they've brought in a lot of money.
Yeah, if anything, this whole Disney acquisition has been good for Marvel. I don't think the Avengers would have been as big a film as it was if they didn't have that Disney backing.
Well, and that worked for them.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I felt that the Star Wars thing was done. I was fine with it just being left where it was. Everybody hated the prequels.
Yes.
Except I liked Episode 3. But other than that, I liked it because the dark side won. That's what we all want to see.
Yeah, but we didn't need a whole fucking movie for that.
I think we needed more movies.
The small scene.
We needed 3.5 and 3.75 and 3.893.
We got those. They're called The Force Unleashed and The Force Unleashed 2 for Xbox.
I don't know why you know this, and you're not even a fan of any of them.
I'm a fan of media. No, dude, check this out. In Episode 4, that small scene with Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi, when Obi-Wan Kenobi was talking about the past and the dark side and how he let his father get consumed or his father let the dark side consume him. Yes. That was enough. We did not need 3 terribly written, terribly directed movies for that shit.
I blame Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
I blame Hayden Christensen.
I blame
James Earl Jones for providing the voice in Episode 3 for one moment in time.
No! I blame George Lucas. George Lucas, I appreciate his vision and his Star Wars vision, but as a writer, as a director, as a producer, he is a talentless hack.
And I think if you can build a media empire and then sell it to Disney for billions of dollars,
yes,
that's a successful life right there.
True.
And he did what he did, the American dream.
He only had to ruin Star Wars.
And it doesn't really matter because it's just a movie.
It's true. Well,
and I saw Episode 3 that one time in the theater, and I said, that was pretty good. And I left it at that. I didn't go on blogs. I didn't do podcasts about it. I was just like, cool, but I would like to see what more happened between 3 and 4. And I let it go. I'm not even going to see Episode 7 probably.
Yeah, you probably not.
Just don't care.
No, but, okay, so here's the thing. Like Marvel's been just fine ever since Disney picked them up.
That's Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson.
As they can
They
attest,
single-handedly saved Disney.
I would say so, yeah. Disney's been struggling, you can tell.
They were.
But the same thing is that the same thing's going to happen with this Lucasfilm thing. Disney only owns the distribution rights, so that means you can have Star Wars stuff at the Disney store. It means you can go to Disneyland and they're going to have more Star Wars stuff. They have Star Wars stuff already there because
they
of
do Star Tours
and stuff. But so that's all that means. And that means they're going to be the financial backers of Lucasfilm. Let it go. You're not going to have your Mickey Mouse versus Darth Vader. You're not going to have Star Wars stuff that's been all Disneyized.
And Darth Vader is a fairy godfather.
Yeah,
yes.
You're going to have Darth Vader in the special edition. Yeah, he's going to be in the special edition of Pocahontas, I think.
Anything to get Carrie Fisher back into the American vernacular again.
Yeah,
I'm all for that.
She ain't doing so well.
She's clean and sober, getting ECT. She's fine.
Yeah.
She's alive. She's off drugs. It's all good.
So the second part of the story, which is the announcement of the new trilogy, starting with Episode 7, I think as long as... Because George Lucas is stepping back from Star Wars, and he said he's pretty much done with it, and he wants. He
said, "Why would I want to keep creating something when everybody hates you for it?" That was the exact quote. That's his fault. He wanted direct control over 1, 2, and 3, and look what happened. It was awful.
He didn't want anyone to rewrite his movie. He didn't want anybody's input, and you could see in the behind the scenes of the movies. How scared everyone is to challenge him. It's cringeworthy. It's weird.
Whoa.
So as long as he stays out of it, I think we can have a good movie here. I don't care either. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I've been reassuring a lot of people. Is the guy that I sort of talked to at work. He's all into Star Wars, and he was upset about this. So I had to reassure him.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
That's my childhood. You ruined it, Disney.
Shut up, dude. Seriously, get over yourself. But I think we're going to have a good movie here. They're going to pick new directors, new writers. It's going to go off of established lore. So, I mean, as long as they don't bring back Jar Jar Binks, it's going to be cool, I think.
I don't think they will.
And
if they bring in Robert Downey Jr., they should be in good shape.
Iron Man versus Darth Vader. Darth Vader died in Episode 6, so whatever. Spoiler alert.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah.
But Luke Skywalker is Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh.
Who is Iron Man. Who is the Black Widow? No, I don't know.
You don't know anything about anything geek-related.
I'm sorry. I know. I mean, now that the Hunger Games will be ending around that time, and of course they announced, Part 3 of the Hunger Games will be split into 2 movies.
Oh, nice.
Because we all need that to be done.
We need money.
And so that's going to keep on going. That'll tide them over until 2015.
Yeah.
When the new Star Wars movie
2015,
comes out.
that's probably when the next Avengers movie is probably going to come out, too.
Well, they'll come out at the same time, and they will make Disney lots and lots of money.
Exactly.
Our supreme overlord.
Hey, you know who needs lots and lots of money?
Is her name Octo something?
Octomom, Nadya Suleman. Well, she's actually checked herself into a rehabilitation center, citing anxiety, exhaustion, and stress.
That's a really evil-looking picture.
It is, I know. So, Adam, do you want to walk us through this for a little while?
Since I know a lot of
since
people
since you are the professional here,
that go into places for anxiety and exhaustion and stress. The mother of 14, she's been taking medication called Xanax under a doctor's care to deal with
I've never heard of this Xanax.
Xanax is a very addictive, very powerful.
Should I cut it up with a razor blade and snort it?
I think you should.
Okay.
And then I'll bury you next to a tree that I
enjoy. The tree I died at.
Yes. Bury me at makeout point. No, it's like if you have a panic attack and you go to the hospital because you think you're having a heart attack, the doctor will say, here's some Xanax, take that for 10 days.
Go away, yeah.
And it's just something that it's like a new age form of Valium.
Yeah.
And it's very, very addictive, and people abuse it a lot. And crazy, celebrity types get on Xanax all the time, and then
you don't want to do real drugs. You want to do professional kind of
drugs. Under a doctor's care. So most doctors do not want people to take Xanax unless they have very mild anxiety situations. Mm-hmm. So she's going in because she's been taking too much Xanax, and it makes sense. So yeah, she's still got 14 kids. I don't know who's taking care of them all. While she's in a rehab
I'm sure
facility.
she has caregivers and something like that.
Probably.
Yeah, that she can't afford.
And the rehab facility declined to confirm they are caring for her because of patient confidentiality laws.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, because remember when Lindsay Lohan and Britney went into places and people were like, yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that.
Exactly.
You're not allowed to talk to TMZ because...
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Exactly. So, well, she'll come out and then realize she still has 14 kids.
So
and
I
get
gotta
right back on the Xanax again.
Yeah, so I got a question here. Do you think this is legitimate substance abuse issues or just more media whoring?
I'm going to go with legitimate substance abuse
Okay.
issues because Xanax, like that,
I think
people
we
do
all
really get really addicted to
I
that.
think we all saw this coming too.
Yes. Well, yeah, that was kind of the next logical step.
Yeah.
Of like, oh yeah, of course she'd be on anxiety medication
She
because
just
she's,
did a porno she didn't want to do.
like, and that whole dead behind the eyes porno thing. Like, I like to play with myself.
This is the real me.
If you ever see a porn where the chick isn't on Xanax, you'd be very surprised.
You're ruining my porn.
I'm sorry. You can tell by looking at them who's on Xanax and who's not.
Oh boy. I'm going to need some Xanax after this.
The ones that are having a good time are on meth, and the ones that look like they would rather be anywhere else besides there are on Xanax. It's just
Ones who are on their phone while they're taking it from behind.
exactly.
Oh yes. Oh my
yes.
god.
Oh yes.
LOL.
Can I change my long distance plan, please?
Yes, I am happy with my long distance service.
It feels really good.
All right, so like we mentioned earlier, last week was Halloween, so I hope you guys had a great time there. So we're going to move on to our on the plate topic this week, which is very Halloween centric.
So I had an interesting idea for On the Plate this week.
Yes.
Regarding around our workplaces and how they celebrate the holiday of Halloween.
Yes, so Halloween's always been a weird holiday, especially when you're, well, not as much as you're a kid, but when you become an adult. We got a parent impending here. There's
Yes.
an existing parent here. So Halloween becomes very much a different kind of holiday.
Yes.
And when you have a full-time job in a professional environment, it gets even weirder, right? So, Adam, do you want to go ahead and talk about...
They find ways to, like, get around the fact that you can't dress up at work sometimes. So, I don't know. They're, like, you could see everybody's candy dishes appearing on their desks over the last couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden, they all realized, oh, I have too much candy, and I'm not giving it away to the people who come in for...
mental
talk.
issues.
And the kids that come in with their hyperactive problems, they don't need candy.
No.
So, like, then you end up getting these people that just walk around holding their giant bowl of candy saying, I have too much candy, take some. And being the only non-obese person that I work with, me and, like, a couple other people,
Yeah.
they come to me first thinking, oh, Adam doesn't mind candy. Adam will eat all the candy.
Yes.
And Adam's like, I don't want that much candy. I already have enough in my desk because of my mom.
Are you listening?
So you take some candy, and then they're like, take more. And you're like, I don't
I'm
want
just
more.
gonna
Like,
leave
take
this
more. And then you have to take more, and then they go and bother the rest of your coworkers.
Yeah.
But then this week was customer service something or other week. So they people were bringing in different food all week long. And when you don't eat the food that was brought in for everybody, you get made fun of by your coworkers. It's really not cool.
What?
I
So you guys had
swear
like
to
a
God,
little
they- like you-
Halloween party? Or?
No, it was just customer service week. So
customer service. Can you explain
so
that?
the fact that we serve customers,
Okay.
they were honoring us for our customer
So you
service
guys had
appreciation.
a quote unquote party, I guess, a little potluck or something?
Yes, but people volunteered to bring in different fatty, delicious food all
Right.
week long. So
And that's what you do at potlucks.
yeah. So somebody brought in granola bars, and somebody brought in Rice Krispie treats, and somebody brought in cookies, and somebody brought in bagels, and it was a different food every week. And so
Yeah.
you're kind of bombarded. And then if they say you go in to eat your lunch, and the food's there, and you want to just eat your lunch because you're trying to be healthy, and then they're like, why don't you eat more, Adam? Because I don't want to. What do you mean you don't want to eat more? Because I don't want to. I have enough food. But you're so thin. And it just goes on and on from there. And
Join us.
Yes, exactly. Join us in our obesity. And one lady, well, actually on Halloween, she made cupcakes,
Uh-huh.
chocolate cupcakes that had like green frosting on it that kind of looked like grass. and then on top of it, she put
Gravestone?
white chocolate bones. And she put him on the table to make it look like an actual skeleton.
Oh, nice.
With all the different bones.
It's like a puzzle.
And by the time I got in there to even see it, because I got guilted into
the
even
pelvis.
seeing it, there was, it was all fucked up. And I was like, oh, well, I tried. But
So
and then I didn't eat a cupcake, and they all freaked out at me. Like, why can't you eat a cupcake? And
You're
first of
fired.
all, you don't want to eat a cupcake around other people.
Why is that?
Cupcakes go everywhere. Frosting everywhere. You can't look manly and eat a cupcake.
Is that a problem looking manly?
It's like being one of the only men at your work, because it goes everywhere, and you have to open your mouth super wide to eat the cupcake anyway.
You can use a fork.
Well, but there's no forks around. I could have asked for a fork, but then I'd have to go digging through the cabinets, and they'd be like, "Why do you need a fork? It's a cupcake." And it's just there's too many questions.
Because I'm French, and we like to eat our cupcake forks.
And then another person brought in bagels, and I said, "Geez." I'm walking down the hallway, and she says, "Adam, I brought bagels."
Yeah.
And I said, "That sounds great, but you guys are trying to kill me here." And she turned around and said, "You are like this," and she put up her pinky finger. And I said, "I don't want any more." This was all week long. If you didn't, and then I happened to have 2 cookies because somebody made cookies, and it was like, "Oh, he's eating 2 cookies now."
Ooh, that was a funny joke.
Everything about this job.
That's that's something that a lot of I'm not saying it's so hard being skinny. No, but that's something that a lot of slender people have to deal with. It's just the fact that because I get that too.
I know. I make fun of Mike all the time too because I always offer him food.
Yeah,
and he's like, "No, I can't," for some reason.
Because I'm not hungry, and I just ate, and I ate 40 days ago.
40 days ago. I know that's not healthy.
No, because when you go to social situations, and then let's say you're legitimately full, or you just don't want to eat, or whatever the reason is, and people look at you like, "Oh, you're too good for my food," or
exactly, because the truth was you had something extremely delicious yesterday, and you're trying to make up for it by not overeating.
I'm
today.
trying to have self-preservation here, and I'm trying to watch what I'm eating.
I was busy finishing a pie because my wife was too nauseous to eat it this week. So I had pie every single day. I didn't want to go to work and eat more sugary goodness.
Then you'd be like me and not eat.
And then you have to explain why there's pie in your house and why your wife doesn't eat the pie. And it's just it just goes on and on and on.
Just shut up and don't let me eat. Let me not eat in peace.
It was the same way when back before they cut the food budget at my work because they would bring in lunches all the fucking time.
Why?
3 times a week because they were having a meeting that was at lunch or they would have interviews for people and they'd have to bring in lunches. And I'm like, man, we could save so much money if we didn't eat lunch. And I'd bring in my lunch.
Yeah, you bring in your lunch.
Why don't you eat the lunch that your work provided for you? It's a free lunch, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, because the last time I didn't eat my own lunch, I put on 25 pounds in 3 months.
Well, and then
okay, it was 9
so
months.
So you mentioned that you're probably one of the only average to slender people.
There's a handful of them, but not very many.
Yeah.
And so and they don't
see the correlation, I guess.
Right. So I just smiled and let it go,
but it's hard to keep repeating yourself and everything.
I know, and defending yourself against the onslaught of why
just eat the fucking cookie.
And then you eat one and a cookie, you can eat a cookie,
wow,
but you can't eat a bagel.
God, shut up. God,
why don't you eat a bagel, Adam? Well, luckily they were all gone by that point, or else I would have been forced to eat a bagel.
Maybe you should just take a bite and throw it in the trash. That
way
they know that you're wasteful and don't feed him anything because he's wasteful.
And the bad thing is they're just being super nice.
Yeah.
And then you can't be mean to them because they're being nice.
Some people show affection, or some people come from backgrounds and cultures where the best way to show affection towards someone is by cooking for them.
Yes.
And making them stuff.
Yes. And I have a very multicultural work environment.
That's cool.
So I don't know.
So my work does weird things around the holidays too. particularly like Halloween. Let me talk about this one person first. There's this one lady who works in HR who I think single-handedly like does all the planning and preparation for all the the building-wide get-togethers when we have to like have a building-wide meeting, and
yes,
and we have to have like a celebration because there's a holiday or something.
Yes.
In this case, it's Thanksgiving. This woman would be great at party planning if everyone was 8. She treats every event.
It's a Barbie Thanksgiving.
She treats every event like we're fucking children. She makes us watch.
Does she have children?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that much about her. I have to work with her a couple times. I just never talked to her about personal stuff.
Okay.
I have pictures of my family in my desk, and she asked me about my family, but I've never been nice enough to ask about hers, I guess.
It's so rude, Mike.
It is. And I don't eat her cookies either. But she makes us watch these videos all the fucking time that they look like they just came out of like an elementary school. Like, it's Halloween here at Staples, and make sure you guys bring your costume. And she makes us have costume contests. She makes us have
costume contest.
Yeah, at work.
Wow.
And I work. I'm fortunate enough to work in the management section. So I have my own office, and I'm away from the warehouse and stuff like that. I'm away from the back of the building. So if I wanted to dress up for Halloween, I could, but I'm not 8 years old, and you guys aren't my friends.
Mike dresses up as the lonely pirate.
Are you? Lay are.
Are you going to hang out with me today? Because I'm so lonely.
No. This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. God, I'm so lonely. So every single month, basically, we have to deal with this cringeworthy presentation, and like how everyone's has this awkward look on their face, like, I don't want to do this. Please don't invite me up to the front so you can make me like gift wrap during Christmas. Like, no, I just want to get to work.
I just want to go to work and go home and spend time with my family, who I care about, not you douchebags.
Oh man, I remember seeing some TV show or something where they were locked up or during a power outage. No, it was King of the Hill. There was a King of the Hill episode where there was a power outage or something during Christmas, and all the employees of Strickland's Propane, even including Buck Strickland, were stuck in the building, and then like he was like forcing them to play games and do this really childish stuff, and that's how it feels. It's so bad.
Luckily, I'm not locked into like spending weird time with people. It's just forcing you to eat things.
And then when I see all this stuff happening, I see the looks on all the employees' faces, and they don't want to be there, and they're trying to save face and be nice because she's the lady from HR.
How do I disappear? Where's my Harry Potter cloak?
If I can jump right out that window, it's only 3 stories up. I think I can make it. I can just hobble away
with a broken leg, maybe if I'm lucky. Wow.
So does your work do any like weird stuff for the holidays?
No, it's
at least?
all food related.
Yeah,
it's really like you're not allowed to do anything like dress up.
See, I would prefer that because at least you can just kind of get what little food you want and then walk away.
But I always end up like putting on 10 pounds at the holidays anyway because of the
self-control, Adam.
This year I made it a point not to do that.
Yeah.
So again, this is the start of it, and it's just like eat a cookie, eat a bagel.
You can just say that you have a stomach flu or something. Or,
I should.
Yeah.
As I eat my turkey sandwich on double fiber wheat bread.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not sitting right.
Yeah. You should just try to make up a little white lie and say, I can't because I have to go
poop in the morning.
Poo.
Right now, and
I have explosive diarrhea. And I don't want your delicious cookies to go out that way.
Right. So
hang in there, man.
Yeah, and Thanksgiving there's so much food that they bring in for the Thanksgiving one. So last year I really did like eat too much and almost threw up.
Yeah,
because there was so much and I just way overdid it. So this year I'm not going to do that. And like for all the potlucks we've been having, I've been bringing my lunch. and they all watch me eat my sandwich while they all eat delicious, food that is not room temperature.
Here's some gravy on this.
Yeah. And they all look at me and say, I wish I had self-discipline like you.
Har, 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 har.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm cool. You guys will all...
That's why I'm healthy and you're going to die in your 50s.
I'm going to have to do like a check of the obesity rate of my office. And see.
I'm sure the ones who get super offended at you not eating are probably the ones who weigh the most, I'm sure.
Yeah, but then they all want to be like me, and they're like, Adam, I brought in a sandwich today just like you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And
then,
some cupcakes.
And then they go to
and
McDonald's
some pie, and some ice cream, and some gravy on top of my ice cream.
Exactly. So, and then the Christmas one, I don't know what's going to happen.
This is going to be a rough several weeks for you, man. Yeah.
And I don't even know if we're allowed to have parties because of our budget
Yeah.
cuts.
Well, that's a good thing then. No more bitching from your work.
I hope so.
I hope they don't involve me in a mandatory potluck again.
What would you bring?
Napkins.
Once I brought a bag of Doritos
Yeah.
to the potluck, and now I don't bring anything. I'm just like, no, I'm not
going to have anything. Don't give me anything.
Yeah, I'm not volunteering to bring anything because it would end up being something I buy from Walgreens at 6 o'clock in the morning when I'm
there was no love into this.
No way. No way. I don't cook. I'm not. No. I apologize. So anyway, such is life in working in an office.
I like my job, and I like how it pays me, and I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't know how to politely decline going to these stupid meetings. And
the fun part is talking about it with your attractive coworkers.
Okay.
Who they take pity on you.
Yeah. Oh, Adam, come here and rest by my bosom.
Exactly. And I will.
Let's make that a workplace tradition from now on.
Bosom resting.
I'm going to go to work on Monday, and I'm going to find the nearest bosom.
And down I go.
And I'm not going to find a bosom. No one talks to me.
Poor Mike.
If anybody wants a job as my secretary...
Yar, I'm not attractive.
Yar. I must have bosoms. Please apply at the link below.
Secretary. Isn't that what our good friend Laura is going to be? Did you already audition/interview her?
I did, but I'm gonna need follow-up interviews.
Okay.
Follow-up.
Can I be there? I think you need a second opinion.
A second opinion. Please feel free.
I'll hold the video camera
for reviewing purposes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I'll ask some questions.
If
you know what I mean.
A terrible sexual predator. So
$780,000. That's going to be her asking salary.
I paid a lot of money to have Laura as my secretary.
I just hope she knows how to collate. That's the most important. and give hand jobs.
Yes, and have sex with no clothes on.
Yes, or even with clothes on. I don't mind.
I don't care. It's Laura.
It's okay.
If you're listening to this, Laura,
I love you.
We meant every single word. And now to our sound off.
Oh, man.
So sounding off today, in the geek world, there has been another bit of news that's not Star Wars or Disney related, but in fact G4 related. Technically, if it's G4 related, it's not geek related at all. So let me tell you guys, G4 has decided to cancel both X-Play and Attack of the Show in order to begin reconstruction of the network to be a more GQ magazine for television.
So the Ryan Gosling crowd?
The Ryan Gosling crowd, exactly. So
good.
Hey,
they need more.
Use this cologne, wear these shoes, act this douchey, drive this car.
Right. And don't play video games.
Don't play video games because
pretty girls like Olivia Munn don't like video games.
Exactly. Don't get me fucking started on Olivia fucking Munn. Yeah. So I mean, G4's been through a lot over the years. It started off as ZDTV, and that was all tech related. It's all computer related. And they had really good personalities on that show. I mean, it made you really want to learn. There was a show called The Screensavers, which I loved a lot. And
And then they said, nobody's watching. We need to do something about this.
It got good ratings. That's which is why I don't understand.
Oh.
The network got good ratings. It was kind of like a premium channel too, almost a premium. Like you can't get it on basic cable, but you have to get like package
extended package
deal. But
Laura knows about those.
Yeah. Oh. Especially now that she works for me. Okay, that's enough of that. But it started off as that, and it was all tech related. They had a video game show called GameSpot TV, which became XPlay later on, and then that got turned into Tech TV, and that was more internet culture, and there was still the tech related stuff. They still had their
so
how
when did
to
they start bringing in the hot chicks.
Let me get to that.
Okay, sorry.
There were still hot chicks on Tech TV. And
okay, I wasn't sure if they started off with that.
Yeah, but they were legitimately smart, talented, computer savvy people, and they teach you how to do all these things, and they answer viewer questions.
Giant brains,
giant personalities.
Yes. Low cut.
Yeah. So eventually, Spike bought out Tech TV, which is making a lot more sense now, isn't it? And they renamed it G4. And now the network is almost like 80% cops reruns, cheaters reruns.
Oh wow!
And in the evening they'll show XPlay, followed by Attack the Show. XPlay is like all video games, so it's like video game review shows, previews, walkthroughs, stuff like that, and
followed by commercials for 1-900 college girls.
Exactly.
Numbers. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then following that is Attack of the Show, which is kind of like a douchebag's version of a Tech TV. So you got like douchey Kevin Pereira with Olivia motherfucking Munn. I'm gonna fucking kill you, Olivia Munn. Fucking backstabbing. Oh, I was gonna say that word we can't use. Anyway, so I've said my piece on Olivia Munn many times, but that
hot
was like the
piece
only
of ass. Hot piece of biracial ass.
Yeah. Hey, Olivia Munn, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can say that, right?
On my cock.
You know what? See you.
I was the one that had to tell my coworkers what that meant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know what that means. And they all went, oh, I've never heard that before. And that
It's so clever. Har, har, har.
Yay.
So now the show is going through another restructuring, and then decided, you know what? Fuck it. People who like computers and video games and tech don't need a channel. Or
Nope.
let alone fucking their own
They'll
show.
watch Mythbusters and masturbate over and over again, I guess.
Well, I do, but you can only masturbate to Carrie Byron so many times in a day.
I like the guy with the mustache.
With the walrus.
Yes.
Yeah, Jamie Heineman.
In the hat.
Okay,
That's dreamy. Anyway, sorry, keep interrupting.
So now it's going to be some sort of like men's magazine now.
Wow.
I'm sure they're still going to have their cops reruns and their cheaters reruns.
The Ryan Gosling, George Clooney, Ryan Reynolds.
This isn't going to go well for this network at all.
But at least girls will be wanting to watch, I guess.
This is actually, it's quote unquote a men's
Brought
show.
to you by Axe Body Spray.
Yeah, exactly.
Of
Everything
course.
is everything is Axe. Everything is Dos Equis. Everything's Bud Light. And before this, I mean, like a few months ago, the last few people with credibility like left that network. So the host and lead writer of XPlay, and then the host and lead writer of Attack of the Show, they left like several months ago already. So now this is, I guess, the logical next step, just to cancel it outright.
It's about time.
Yeah. So I mean, those two are doing well.
It's just like The Office.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just time to let it go.
It's just sad. I mean, I loved Tech TV, and there's no other network like that anymore. And now you can't even count G4 as one of those networks now.
No, it's okay. Now you can get the lower cable package and save $5 a month.
I don't have that package anymore anyway.
Okay.
So when I switched to what I have now, I decided, you know what, I don't need it anymore. So now I save a lot of money now.
There you go. That can go towards your virgin buyers.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to buy. I go to virginswanted.com.au, which is now my homepage.
Yes.
I visit that now more than I do Facebook.
So can you find a virgin in the $5 range? Is that the starting bid?
Yes, his name is Mike.
Oh.
Nobody wants my virginity.
Nobody wants
All right, so Adam,
biracial Mike.
Adam, you've been reviewing albums for us for the past
Still
couple
reviewing
weeks.
albums. It was an interesting day of football last week, and I passed over that, or I talked about it at the beginning of the podcast
Correct.
last week. So this week it was New Mumford and Sons
Called Babel.
Babel,
Babel,
and I
whatever you want to
also
pronounce it.
finally completed my Killers discography,
Yeah.
which I've been meaning to do since 2006.
With Day and Age, right?
Day and Age. So I think today, this week was not a very exciting music week for me. Because as
Not
I
as
listened to
optimistic
all of
as it
them-
was last week.
True. I listened to both albums numerous times, and Mumford, like I was saying earlier, it made me think that like I wasn't paying enough attention to the first album.
Okay.
Because I remember really liking the first album,
It's great.
and then I heard the second album, and it just wasn't doing much for me. And I was like, well, maybe I really didn't like the first album. But then I listened to the first album again, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So after the 7 hours of sitting through the new Mumford & Sons album, I came to the conclusion that I didn't care for it.
Oh.
I give it about a 7 out of 15 because there's 15 tracks and they're all about 5 minutes each. There's a very good cover in there.
Of the Boxer
Boxer.
by Simon and Garfunkel.
Yes. I was telling Mike that I was worried that he wouldn't know that was a cover, and
I like Simon and
I
Garfunkel.
wasn't sure if you knew. That song is incredibly old now.
Yeah.
It's like way over 40 years old.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't sure. And I know Mike didn't grow up listening to Simon and Garfunkel like I did, where I knew of that song. And so I was thinking maybe he thought it was a Mumford & Sons song.
Oh, what
like,
a great
wow,
original
this is
song.
a great song. Yeah, good for them.
A lot of dated references, though. But
So that's a very good cover. And it didn't have that same kind of dark vibe that Sigh No More had.
yeah, and it's
And I like
not
the
as
darkness.
catchy.
True.
Yeah.
True. It doesn't get stuck in your head. And I was telling Mike also that, like, with the first album, it really sounded like a Dave Matthews Band album, and they took a huge right turn.
Yeah.
And said, yes, we're going to do something different, and it was really good. And so,
If only.
yeah. And I can just imagine this band, you know, they're going to keep on making albums, and they're going to keep on selling pretty well, because they do that. But I don't think they're going to...
They're bringing banjos back.
Yes, often. And very good harmonies, of course.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the same album, like, from here on out. I can't imagine them.
Unless they take some sort of creative right turn and really step it up.
And
Yeah.
exactly. And
That's a shame for a lot of, like, sophomore albums, and it kind of showcases that the band maybe already past their prime, even after only one album.
Well, like Chris Hardwick says, King Hardwick.
He
He says, you
our
have your
boss.
entire life to write your first album.
Yes,
You only have a year to write your second album.
that's true. Yeah.
The fact that they had 15 tracks in a year is impressive.
Mm-hmm. They
But
must have just kept writing. you know.
Probably, yeah.
I like
And-
bands that write while they're on tour and they
Mhm.
just don't stop writing. I mean, it really saves them the embarrassment of having to go into the studio with no songs.
Yes. And it worked for them, and they needed to capitalize on the success of their first album.
Yeah.
And that's why
They could have waited a year, I think.
They could have taken some time off.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us would have minded. But, they did what they did, and they're super popular, so whatever. It's working for them. Just not for me right now.
Yeah.
So then
I-
to round out... Go ahead.
I really enjoyed it, though, so just
Okay.
just throw my hat in there.
I have a feeling it's going to be an album that I play when my baby comes. It's going to be like when you're trying to put your child to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's background.
Yeah,
music.
put on the Boxer.
Yeah. Or just put on all 27 tracks from album 1 and 2
Yeah.
and we'll all be asleep.
And then your baby wakes up with thick rimmed glasses and a scarf.
And a douche mustache. Don't forget about that.
It's called an artsy mustache, okay?
Like, Dad, I'm moving to Brooklyn. At 8 months.
All right, so your second album, Day and Age, by The
Day and
Killers,
Age,
and you
which was
finally
the
got that at.
third album by The Killers.
Yeah.
I talked about Hot Fuss last week. That was kind of a 50-50 album for me. And then the album after that was called Sam's Town, which was also a 50-50. Like, I love the first half, tracks 1 through 6.
Mhm.
Tracks 7 through 12, like, no. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. This is a whole different band by now.
And then, so I decided to give up on them with Day and Age when I saw the video for Spaceman, and Brandon Flowers was wearing a bird
yeah, you were
jacket.
Yeah, you were saying that
and I was
last
like,
week,
okay,
yeah.
I'm done with this band. And then I gave the Battleborn a chance, which just came out, and I really enjoyed that one. I still do.
Mm-hmm.
It's still different. So I was like, okay, I'll give Day and Age a chance. And I was sorely disappointed,
Aw.
unfortunately. I mean, we're going back to like 2009.
Yeah,
or
I hear that
whatever.
was a very underwhelming record.
Yeah, there was a couple of like I I averaged it out to about a 4 out of 12, maybe a 3.5 out of 12.
4 out of 12, huh?
Yeah.
1 out of 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just a lot of forgettable tracks, but like the first 10 tracks, you're just like, whatever. And then all of a sudden, track 11 hits, and you're just like, yeah, this is fucking awesome.
This
like,
should be track 2.
I know. So I don't know what it was. And I remember liking track 12 a little bit as well. So I don't know what happened on those 2 songs, but the rest of the album was just kind of like bleh.
How long between that album and the last album?
You mean
whatever album came before Day and Age and Day and Age?
Oh, because Hot Fuss was in 2004. Sam's Town was in 2006.
Uh-huh.
Sam's Town I first initially heard when I was on an airplane, and I could listen to music by punching buttons, and I was like, oh, I should listen to this Killers album. And that was when I listened to the first half of it. I was like, this is freaking incredible. I need to own this album. And then the second half sucked. So that was in 2006, and then in 2009, I believe, was when Day and Age came out.
Oh, wow. So they took all that time off. Or maybe they didn't even take the time off.
They toured a lot. I'm sure they toured. And then this time, I mean, Brandon Flowers released a solo album, which I don't think I'm interested in still. That came out somewhere around 2010, 11.
Okay.
And then Battleborn is still a pretty good album. It sounds like a completely different band compared to Day and Age, which is interesting, but in a good way.
Oh, well.
Nonetheless.
All right, so are you going to be reviewing any more records in the near future?
The new Dave Matthews Band.
Okay.
I already forgot what it's called.
Dave Matthews Band, album number 12.
I don't know if it's that many. The last one
Seems like it's been that many.
Something about a Goo Goo Crux. That was a really good album.
Okay.
That one came out somewhere around 2009, I believe.
So you got the new...
I can't believe it's been that long ago.
New DMB.
New DMB
and anything else?
I can't remember who else I was going to listen to. I'm waiting for Mike to buy me a new Soundgarden.
Oh, yes.
And there was another one.
It's just so expensive.
Dead Rabbits or whatever it was called.
Oh, yes. The side project of our favorite crappy singer. Well, he's not a crappy singer. He's a crappy songwriter.
Yes.
Yeah. Craig Mabbitt.
But he wrote a great Bless the Fall song about his unborn baby.
He did.
And I had no idea that that's what he was singing about in that song. I love
Let
you.
me feel you.
It's a great song.
It is a good song. We used it in the outro
I had
of
no
one of our
idea. I
episodes.
thought he was just singing about, like, killing himself or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, I'm only going to be listening to Dave Matthews Band this week.
Yeah.
And I'll re-catch up on my albums from the week before.
Awesome stuff,
which
man.
were, I can't even remember, whatever I reviewed last week. I've been taking a week off from them.
We'll find out in a week.
I guess so.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for checking out episode 018 of The Skinny with Mike and Adam. Like I said last week, we have episode 20 coming up. So please, we really appreciate it if you send in your questions or comments. We'd love to read them on the air and do a Q&A. Hopefully that happens. Please, any question whatsoever about the show, about us, about a topic, anything that
penis
you guys...
sizes.
Penis sizes, we'd love to discuss that.
We already have probably talked about that. But
many times, but we can bring it up again.
Bring it up again.
Yeah,
to talk about penis.
Bring it up again. Penis size. So, thank you guys for checking out the show this week. Please join us again next week when we will once again be cutting through the fat of the news stories of the week.
By not eating bagels.
Not eating bagels, not eating cookies or cupcakes.
Or candy.
Leave us alone. Let us enjoy our weight.
I will eat it in the closet like God intended.
Yeah. For shame. For my friend Adam, I am your co-host, Mike. And don't vote for Mitt Romney or Barack Obama.
Watch the third-party debate on...
Tonight, yes.
I thought it was on the 5th.
Yes, that's tonight. According to the reader, the
right,
listeners,
sorry.
yeah. So November 5th is the third-party debate. They're going to have that on C-SPAN. They're going to stream that on freeandequal.com on YouTube as well. So check that out. Don't vote for Mitt Romney or Barack Obama. And we'll see you guys next week.
And by a landslide, Gary Johnson wins.
What? All because
he
of the...
won the election.
All because of the Skinny with Mike and Adam? Thank you guys so much.
Wow. And
Sorry,
Jill
Jill
Stein murdered Mitt Romney with her bare hands. Strangled him.
This is what you get for having me arrested.
Held him underwater of the Ohio River.
Yes.
Outside of Cincinnati.
It was beautiful. And that was streamed on YouTube. It was the most watched thing ever.
And she looked into the eye of the hurricane and said,
Get lost, Sandy.
Go away to Canada with thee.
So we got President Johnson, Vice President Gray, and Speaker of the House Stein, right?
Yes. And President Johnson. Not Lyndon.
Not Lyndon
Not
Johnson.
Andrew.
Nope. Gary.
Gary.
That's a man's name. He's gonna go fucking climb. He's gonna have his presidential inauguration on top of Mount Everest because he's climbed that like 3 fucking times. Fuck you.
Why would he go to another country? For
My
his
president can kick your president's ass. Please join us
In
for episode.
Nepal only.
Yeah.
Nepal.
President of Nepal. Yeah. See you guys next week.
With the tearaway face, here in a flash and gone without a trace. I am the who when you call, who's there? I am the wind blowing through your hair. I am the shadow on the moon at night, filling your dreams to the brim with fright. This is Halloween.